spiritual. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope everyone is in peace in your world. And just something that came to mind, that in this day and age, with all of these advancements and the fact that we are losing our connection to ourselves in a way, because this AI thing is like really going overboard. I don't know if I'm going to talk about it this time, but we'll start with what I was going to talk about first, or discuss, or share. And it's this thing with the fact that we tend to listen to people who may be influencers or commentators or whoever these people may be, that are now so abundant in the spaces of our lives, and how much value and how much we, I don't know if you want to say respect them, or how much we believe that they are sharing truth with us, when this may not exactly be the reality of what is happening. And just one example, and I'm not sure what this woman did that all of a sudden everybody is jumping all over her, but the case with Ayesha Curry, some of you may know her. She is the wife of Steph Curry, the basketball player. And they've been coming for her because she supposedly has been embarrassing him, making him look bad, putting him to shame, being ungrateful for the life that she has, and so on. And to be honest, I got caught up for a second, and somebody that I watch, who I will now be much more skeptical, if I even watch them again, about something that was said, and it was about her and how she was disgracing him and being ungrateful and mean and nasty and all of these things. And that actually, because supposedly she said that she didn't want to be married to him, and she didn't want children. And initially I was like, that's kind of strange, because if you marry somebody, that seems to be a conversation that you would have before you endeavor into that realm. And there was another video posted, and someone mentioned the fact that the video that these comments were gleaned from, need to check that out. So I went and listened to the video. It's I think it's Call Your Daddy podcast. It's an hour and 4 minutes long, but I listened to the whole thing. And the interviewer was asking different questions about Ayesha and her life and meeting Steph and all of these things. And these statements that they gleaned from this conversation, I had to go back and redo my comment about it, because what was said was taken so far out of context. And while she did actually say that she did not want to get married, in the video that I watched, in the interview that I watched, she did not say that she did not want to be married to Steph. She was 14 or 15 years old when she said that she did not imagine herself married or with children. She wanted to be an actor, and that was her goal at time in life. So at 14 or 50, saying you don't want to be married, what does that have to do with Steph? And why is everybody coming for her because she said that? We were 14 or 15. I mean, some people may know at 14 or 15 that they want to be married, but what she said and how they're coming for her is just disproportionately out of whack. So 14 or 15, she did not think she was going to get married. She was from Canada. She moved, and she and Steph went to the same church and hung in the same circles and whatnot. And she actually said herself that she did not think that Steph liked her, even though they had a good friendship. She didn't think that he liked her like that, so it wasn't actually in her mind. And she graduated from school early, and she went to California to pursue her dream of acting. And she kept in touch with Steph, and they would call and talk back and forth and whatnot. And at one point, it came to the fact that they were about to endeavor into a more serious type of relationship, and they ended up getting married. She was 22 when she got married. She had some acting stints, but it didn't go exactly as she had planned, and then she got married. But never once in this interview that I watched did she ever say that she never wanted to get married to Steph, that she never wanted to have children with him after they got married. This was something she said when she was 14 and 15 years old, and they just coming for her, and everybody's like, oh, she's just this terrible, evil, wicked person. He's given her this life of luxury, and they have these four, I think it's four, they have these 4 beautiful children. How could she say that? Why is she saying that? Why is she being such a blah, 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 and all these celebrities are coming for her, and I'm like, but who are these people? And what does it matter? Why are y'all coming for this woman when, first of all, before you even say anything, you need to listen to the interview, because what is being said and what she actually said are two totally, completely different things. She did not say that. And it's like, what did this woman do that everybody is now wanting to come for her? And it's like, oh, Steph, you need to get divorced because she ain't it. She's not blah, 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 blah. And she did say that, she had wanted to, continue to exploring the career choice that she had. But she never once said that she didn't want to be with Steph, and she never once said that she didn't want those children that they have. So it's just like strange. But the point is, these people, these influencers, these I don't know what you want to call them. I'm going to think up a word later. But these people who are in our face all the time on YouTube, on TikTok, who are garnering our attention, and we're listening to these people who may or may not be telling the truth. And there's so many of these people who are jumping on this woman from this interview because they took those 1 or 2 sentences out of context. Again, I'll say it again. She was 14 when she said that. And she didn't say, I don't want to marry Steph. She said, I'm not sure if I want to get married or if I want to have children, because I want to be an actor. This is what I want to do. She felt that she was going to be in that space in life. But it's just crazy that we are listening to these people and taking their word as bond, taking their word as truth, taking their word as the gospel, so to speak, of what's happening, and this is just one person. I'm sure it happens many other times, but it just goes to the fact that all of these wannabe celebrities, all these wannabe in the light, in the spotlight people are just making up stuff. And we have come to the point where we are just so into accepting the negative, accepting the bad, accepting the less than positive, that we are accepting these things from these people who know nothing. Back in the day when journalists, that was a certain caliber of person that you were supposed to be in order to embody this journalistic life. You had to go to the source, or as close to the source as you could get, but usually to the source, so you could get the valid information to answer the 6 questions: who, what, where, when, why, and how. You had to answer all those questions, and you had to answer them in a way that was non-biased. You weren't taking a side, you were presenting the facts so that we, as the outsiders who were not privy to these spaces, that we could say, okay, this is what happened, this is what happened. I may come to this conclusion, or you look at the facts of the situation, and that's what it is. But these people, so many of them are just jumping on this, oh, okay, we're going to beat so-and-so down, and this whole cancel culture, and this whole thing that we have now where people are just so negative, this separation between those people who are standing on their integrity, standing on their truth, standing on what's real, versus these people who are just making up stuff, these I don't know what you want to call them, but we are letting their influencers, they are influencing us in ways that may not be true and right. And at some point we need to stop listening to these people, stop letting them influence us, stop letting them encourage or taint our decisions, our thoughts, our beliefs. We need to stop letting these people do these things to us. First of all, we don't know them. We don't know their intent. And, we've gotten to this place where so many people are trying to get likes, or trying to get shares, or trying to get all this external gratification, as opposed to just tell the truth. Just be righteous. It's not that hard, and we're just falling into this hole, and it gets deeper and deeper and deeper, and you get so caught up in these things that these influencers are saying that we start to believe them, and we lose ourselves in becoming attached to what they say and who they say, and these people are just known because they've got 100,000 likes or 300,000 likes, and what does that mean? Does that mean anything? Does that make it true? I mean, there are some people who have likes and who are followers and who are legit, but all of them are not. I mean, that seems to be the way to go these days, is to be an influencer, because blah blah blah, and because they're influencing people, they got all these people on their jock, and I will say that they got all these people on them, influencing them, encouraging them, celebrating them, being caught up in them, and they have no base. Most of them have no basis for what they're saying. So we have to be mindful of these people that we are listening to. And again, like I said, I'm going to be I probably won't even listen to this person again, because you didn't do your work. You heard one person. You took 2 sentences out of this whole 2 or 3 sentences out of this hour and 4-minute interview, and you didn't get what she said before what she said, and what she said after what she said. And because and then the other thing is, these celebrities, famous people or whatever, do we really know them? I mean, we look at them and we see they're this, that, and the other, but we don't know them either. And getting all caught up in them and what they're doing and how they're doing and why they're doing, who cares? Because at the end of the day, they're not giving you anything. They're not giving you no support. They're not giving you no love. They're not. I mean, in a way, some of them may, but on a real tip, are they really doing that much for you that you have to be so invested in what they're doing and their lives and how they're living and blah 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 and blah 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 and all of this? If that energy and time that we spend worrying about what they are doing and what they have and what they say, what they want, if we spend all that time and focused it on us and our lives and our families and what we want to achieve and how we want to achieve it, it would be a whole different paradigm, because we would be developing ourselves, we would be investing in ourselves, we would be looking after ourselves instead of sending that energy out from us. If we were bringing that energy into us, into ourselves, into our own lives, then we could create a space in which we are more confident, we are more loving, we are more invested in us, ourselves. And as we get more invested and loving and concerned and confident in ourselves, then that becomes the frequency that we exude. And once we start exuding that, then it attracts other people who are like that. But once we do it for ourselves, it shows, and people around us can see that. And once people around us see that, that could inspire them. Not saying that everybody's going to do it, but those people who want to be inspired that way, those people who want to better themselves, be confident in themselves, love themselves, and be their own light. Once you start doing that, once we start doing that, the energy grows, the frequency grows, and it travels, and it reaches out to those people who have similar interests, goals, desires to do that, to be that. That, in my humble opinion, is where we need to be going. And stop worrying about these freaking influencers. These people sit up here and they have these channels or whatever, and they've got a gazillion likes or whatever. But why? Because a lot of them, they go, what are those reaction videos? Oh my God, I hate reaction videos. They put this video up, they surf or however they find these videos, they put this video up and they're off to the side laughing or joking or pointing, but for what? Now the person put up the video probably had a bunch of interaction with other people, but then all these people go and they take this same video and they put their little what's it called, in the video, they're like, it's a split video, or they got a little circle of themselves somewhere laughing and pointing and joking and making faces or whatever. I don't want to see you making faces. I don't want to see you laugh. I definitely don't want to hear you laughing. That is so annoying. Why? What are we doing? That's you're not even creating anything. You're just stealing somebody else's stuff, and then you put your name on it and you commentate on it. Why? I mean, we're losing our minds, because these reaction videos, we're listening to them and they're telling us what it is and how it is and blah blah blah. And I don't know if you still call them reaction videos, but they have these other videos where, you know, you can see the video that's happening, but they're play by play. I know they do it in sports, but even worse than sports, it's like, okay, so when you see the dog walking like this, the dog is sad and depressed, and then the dog walks over here, and then he smells the tree, and he gets happy because he likes this. I mean, it's just, we can see these things for ourselves, but we are letting ourselves become so dumbed down that we are allowing other people, other realities to speak for ourselves. We are losing our connection to ourselves and allowing ourselves to become like robots, like not even, we don't even have our own opinions. And there's nothing wrong with opinion, but we don't have our own opinions. We are not allowing ourselves to see what we see, to feel what we feel, to experience what we experience, because somebody else is talking over it and telling us what we should see, and telling us. I mean, it's something that you may not know. I get that, but overall, just the fact that it's dumbing us down. I mean, what are we doing? What are we doing? We need to take our minds back before it's too late. We need to get our minds back and stop being caught up in what they said and what he said and all of this stuff, because at the end of the day, we have to be responsible for ourselves, responsible for our own growth and development and our mind and our intelligence and all of these things. If we are not taking taking responsibility, if we are not controlling ourselves, then somebody else will. And that's what's happening. All these other people, these influencers, they are dictating our lives. And if you're on YouTube that much, or if you're on TikTok that much, they send you similar videos or things you may like because they're watching what you're looking at, so they continue to send you those things. So if you're continually watching these influencer commentator videos, then you're going to get caught up in this cycle of expecting them to tell you what to see, expecting them to tell you what to feel, expecting them to tell you what to be, when that right was given to us from birth to develop what it is that you want. Of course, without hurting anybody, but you get what I'm saying. If we don't control ourselves, if we don't think for ourselves, then again, somebody else will. And we need to put an end to this now before it gets too far with AI. If anybody even remembers looking at AI, I mean, less than a year ago, it was so obvious that it was AI. But now you look at it, and I'm just going to say this point because I'm going to save that for another time, but it's so much of the stuff that they're putting out there, it's not real. So we have to develop our eyes a certain kind of way so that we can able to see, or at least feel, because as AI progresses, as it gets better and better and better, it's going to be very difficult to be able to determine what is real versus what is not real. And the same thing with these influencers and commentators and these I can't remember what they're called now, but we have to take that power back into ourselves. And again, stop watching it all day long. Stop the death scroll. Sit down and have a conversation with your children. Sit down and have a conversation with your friend, or call your friend on the phone. But all of this, you go in the room and everybody's on their phones looking at what these people are saying. So I'm just saying, we need to stop that. We need to pull our power back to ourselves and be in control of ourselves, be in control of what we're thinking, what we're feeling, and stop falling prey to the okie doke. That's what we have for today. If you have a comment, leave us a comment. Let us know how you feel, what you think about it, and we will talk to you soon. Peace.